from the DNA of the DoD-250, the Goliath D-05 is one of their rare departures from the bass territories and into the world of guitar effects pedals. Today we're going to put this pedal through its paces and see how it handles a variety of different use cases. Hey, I'm Kai, and today we're going to be checking out the Goliath D-05 Distortion and Overdrive pedal. Now this is a sponsored video since the pedal was sent to me by Matt at Goliath Effects, however no money has changed hands. I encourage you to listen to this demo with a critical ear and form your own opinions based on what you're hearing, as my subjective view has an inherent bias to it. So the Goliath D-05 is a fairly straightforward pedal based on the DoD-250 but with some key tweaks. We've got three knobs here. We've got the normal gain and volume controls that you would see on the original DoD-250. We've also got a warp drive control. This lets you adjust the clipping diode from an LED all the way to the left over to a silicon diode all the way to the right. The LED mode will be super thick and full sounding, while the silicon mode will be very spitty and fuzzy, sort of like that fuzz face kind of sound. You can sweep between them using this knob and find where really suits best for your needs. Now the circuit has also received a few more tweaks internally, allowing for this new cool switch on the pedal. This takes it from a light overdrive all the way up to searing high gain and almost fuzzy territory at times. With that said, let's get into some tones. For the most part, I'm going to be using my Moore GTRS S900 into the clean channel of the orange Rockerverb. However, I will also change it up a little bit later on in the video and we'll try out some plugins, we'll try out bass, and we'll try out some super low tunings and see how this pedal works in a variety of different use cases. As is traditional with every pedal demo, let's hear the clean tone. Now with all of the knobs at noon on the low gain setting, let's hear what this pedal sounds like. So that is such a low gain sound that you could almost consider this just to be a very gentle boost. Let's turn the gain up a little bit higher so that we can really hear what this pedal is doing. That is an awful lot thicker than a lot of the other overdrives that I've tried. Things like the Tube Screamer that cut off the low end entirely and boost the mids. This is the opposite of that. This is keeping that thickness, that punch, and not really adding any more mids or anything like that. Let's see what kind of range we can get out of this gain knob on the low gain setting of the pedal. That is the sweep of gain that we've got on the low gain setting of the pedal. I think that in the lower half of this, it's not really adding too much over what we've already set up with the clean tone, other than maybe a transparent volume boost. However, when you really start pushing it up into that sort of like 3 o'clock, up all the way to 5 o'clock. I think that's really where the magic of this pedal starts happening. Now, with the gain turned up high, this is where we can start experimenting with the different clipping options. In case you weren't already aware, the clipping diodes only really kick in when the signal is distorting, or clipping. So let's try out this warp drive knob with the gain maxed out on the pedal. As expected, the silicon does have a lower output level than the LED clipping, and the LED is an awful lot thicker. I personally really like this pedal in the sort of nearer towards the LED side, maybe like just backed off just before the halfway point. Let's just hear that one once more and have a little bit more of a play around with this sound. Let's pull the gain back on the pedal a bit and we'll switch between the low gain and the high gain mode using the gain switch on the pedal. Staying in the high gain mode, let's test out this warp drive feature again. Before we try out some more applications with this pedal, I'd like to quickly say if you're enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop me a like and a subscribe. It goes a long way towards helping the channel out. Now, I want to pepper in some of the pedals with my pedal board and stack it with the D-05 before we switch out to a baritone and try out some more heavier stuff. I mentioned to Goliath how well it stacks with other gain pedals, and they informed me of the deluxe version, which has a clone of a Boss SD1 alongside it as a sort of dual overdrive pedal. Now, I bet that sounds fantastic. We're going to pull this pedal back to a light overdrive sound and then throw in some extra gain from the clon on my pedal board, as well as some extra reverb, delay and shoegazy stuff that I've got going on with the HX1. So we'll go clean tone, we'll add the overdrive, and then we'll add the clon from my board. Now for some extra added weirdness, we're going to throw on the Euclidean delay from the Line 6 HX1. Okay, lastly, before we switch to the baritone, I do want to check it out as a sort of solo boost on the high gain channel of the amp. Let's first hear that high gain channel. And again with the delay and reverb. Alright, it's time to grab the Sully Baritone Elita in drop A and we'll hear some sludgy high gain stuff. The orange Rockerverb is notoriously thick and flubby anyway. Let's hear what it sounds like dry and then we'll throw on the pedal. As expected, that didn't go the way that I'd want an overdrive to. However, that's really not what this pedal is about. I just had to do it to give this pedal its due diligence. So the last thing I want to try out while we're still running through the amp is something brutal, sludgy and disgusting. So I've got my Harley Benton JA Baritone currently tuned all the way down to drop E, and we're going to run through the high gain channel of the orange Rockerverb, and we're going to run the gain on the pedal up pretty high. This sludgy double gain wall of noise fuzz thing was first sort of brought to my attention by Will Putney, who quite famously uses a swollen pickle into the front end of a 5150. Let's hear how the D-05 sounds when we're doing that sort of thing. So of course this does get noisy, however the sole purpose of this sound is to be disgusting, heavy and noisy, and you know, the main thing that will stop you from hearing this noise is to continue playing. I've seen some people use a tuner pedal at the very end of their board as sort of a master mute for when they've got all of these fuzz pedals stacked into high gain, and it's something that I may consider when I build my next board next year. Now let's try out some plugins. Before we hear it on bass, we're going to hear it through the Amped VX30 plugin with my Yamaha Revstar. So let me swap guitars quickly and then we'll hear what that sounds like. Okay, so the Amped VX30 plugin is based on a sort of classic British chimey combo, and you can really hear that small combo sound coming out of this amp. So let's hear the dry tone and then again we'll engage the pedal. So we finally made it to the bass demo. I'm no bassist myself, but I'd be remiss not to check it out on bass, given that Goliath are very much a bass-centric effects company, for the most part at least. Let's hear my clean tone and then we'll engage the pedal. So in conclusion, I think I am really enjoying what this pedal has to offer. I would say that I'm still not converted to the full distortion pedal style format, and I do typically prefer more overdrive-y types. However, this does really fit quite nicely. So I'd definitely be keen to check out some of Goliath's other offerings in the future. I don't think that the D-05 was particularly suited towards my use cases, and you know, maybe more of a amp-like distortion pedal rather than the fuzzier type pedals or the overdrives that I typically gravitate towards. That's all I've got for this video. Please drop a comment down below letting me know what you think of the D-05. If you liked this demo of the Goliath D-05 pedal, be sure to check out the link on screen. That'll take you to my review and demo of the Reeves Darlington Flyer fuzz. The Darlington Flyer is a very vintage-inspired fuzz with a single knob, and it costs £300. That's British pounds. It's a pretty spectacular pedal with some volume roll-off dynamics that I've never really heard in any other fuzz pedal before. Be sure to check out that video if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I've been Kai.